Hey Louise, I just want to help you out a bit with the searching for sites, so you can be a bit more productive on that. So I sent you a bunch of links to learn a bit about all the options that Google's give you. So first thing to focus on is make sure that you're using .google.co.za. One way to force that is to say google.ca. Well, let's just say mine is set to google.com, but if I want to do google.co.za and I press enter, that usually stays, but you can also use a NCR at the back that says no country redirect. So if Google happens to redirect you to google.com for some reason, you can use that to stay on the site, to make sure you stay there. Or for example, if I wanted to be on .com, I can do that. It's more likely that it's pushing me to .co.za than .com. In our case, we definitely want to search in South Africa. So I'm sticking to South Africa. The next thing is if I do a search, let's say property. When you've done a search, it's sometimes useful to see forcing it to South Africa. That will remove any results that Google sees as international. So even if it's a local website run from South Africa, but Google thinks it's international, for Form Factory, it's definitely best for us to filter those out, because if Google thinks it's international, it's not going to help our site. So we definitely want to focus on the local sites. Time is also interesting one. I use it often. Somebody that's posted a blog more recently, like within the last year or last month, they're more likely to respond because things are still fresh in their memory, and they're still, they're new and active bloggers or posters to their website. So it's a useful way to limit the results to the last year, depending on how much trouble you're having finding, sites. Obviously, taking all the entire date range gives you more options, but limiting it to the last year will, in my opinion, give you better results. People that's more active and probably more likely to respond to your requests. So that's a good tip. The other one is, let's say you find a good property site like leapfrog.co.za. You can just type here. So let's say we've gone to that site and we kind of see that this is a property site and it's something we're interested in. Something useful to do is then going in Google and say, I want to find all the related sites. So if I just do a search here, you can see, it's not giving me a huge list of sites, but there's quite a few sites here that's relevant, that might be interesting, that you're not necessarily going to find in another way. Like this Lynn New Estates. Let's see what that's about. Okay. So that seems like a relevant site as well. Although in this case, they do have a new section. So there's lots of things you can do if you learn the tricks of the trade in Google. For example, I can say in URL blog and then say eviction. What you will notice here is that in the URL of the website, you will find the word blog. Now, a lot of times, people will have their blog name as /blog or blog.html. And you can see this is already giving me a very good list. And I already have my country filter to remember that it's on South Africa in the past year. So you can see just from this, I've found a really long list of sites that's relevant. So it's as easy as that to find more relevant results. We can take this a step further. Just trying to remember the command here. I think I can say number equals 100. And now Google, instead of displaying 10 things at a time, is displaying, 100 items. So might be a little bit easier to go through that than going page by page. And if you install the right Google Chrome plugins, you can also do stuff like this. I'm right clicking here, going all the way down, and releasing. And this is creating a spreadsheet for me with all the links in that search result. So I'll send you the link to that plugin as well. So you can see you should use technologies to improve the productivity of your work so that you can, get more done in a shorter time. So it's worth the time to learn these little tricks of the trade. I'll give you a few more tips maybe in the next video, but hopefully that will give you a good start already.